Hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. This is one of my favorite coffee mugs. It was featured recently, I think. I have a long day ahead. I'm going to be drinking lots of tea. It'll all be the same tea, but drinking lots of tea. And I just decided I was going to go with my favorite M&M's coffee mug for the day. The tea for today is the Sips by Wild Leaf Smart Tea. I went to Sips by my account to rate my teas, and for some reason I couldn't remember this one. I do remember that the go-to cola was an item I'd never heard of before. But this is an organic green with ginkgo biloba, peppermint, black currants, organic rose hips, blueberry, and the go-to cola. And it says it's an active smart tea. I'm going to need that today. I have a long day of filming ahead. Still trying to get ready to have everything set to go for Dragon Con and beyond. So let's give this a taste and see if we can tickle my memory. That's pretty good. I don't know why I didn't remember that that was pretty good, but that's pretty good. So, as you can see, things are a little different today. I've been thinking about doing a series on older ladies with color. I've noticed particularly recently as I've participated in a number of makeup and beauty communities on Facebook that a lot of older ladies get to this point of, well, that's a pretty palette and I love the colors, but I can't use it because I'm such and such years old. And it seems to hit around the 40s. So I want to do a series of colorful looks for the older ladies, but obviously anybody can do them. Couple of things to think about and to remember. I am filming on my phone. I cannot do close-ups. I have brought you in as close as I can for the moment. So I can try to show you better what I'm doing, but I don't have the equipment to go in and focus on the eye or anything like that. Just don't have it. Two, I don't do things the way other influencers do it. I don't talk about doing the transition shade and all that. I basically go top down, lighter to darker. That's how I do it. I'm not going to do the whole face in front of you. I'm going to just try to do the eyes. I'm going to show you how to do my eyeliner, which is a little different. But if I sat here and did my whole face, we'd be here for over an hour, and I don't want to have an hour-long video. As it is, it's probably going to end up being a bit long. Already put on my primer. I use the e.l.f. Aqua Mist Primer Mist. I like this. It leaves my skin just tacky enough so that I can even use a powder on it if I like. I won't be showing you putting it on, but my foundation for the day will be the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop. I've only used it twice. The first time I really liked it. The second time, I think I mentioned in a previous video, I mixed it with my moisturizer and it didn't do that. Don't do that. Don't. Use it as is. So, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of get started here. And I'm going to go through going to tell you what these are, and then I am going to probably speed through putting on these. I always do my eyes first so I can cover up any fallout and issues. For my base, I use the NYX Gotcha Covered Concealer in Alabaster to help give me a good foundation base on the eyeshadow, and also some helps make the colors pop. And then I use the Kryolan eyeshadow primer over that after I dust it with a little bit of RCMA No Color Powder. I set the concealer, I put the Kryolan over it. This basically helps with, my eyes have a tendency to make, in one little spot, make eyeshadow evaporate. This is the only thing I found that keeps most of the eyeshadow in place. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and put those on, and we will speed through that. The palettes I'm planning to use today at some point. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them all, but I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place Zulu palette. I'm going to possibly use one color from the Make Up Your Mind from ColourPop. I have out the Bad Habit After Charge palette. And then this is my ColourPop singles. There's a few other colors in there. I have a Juvia's Place color in there. I have something from my Ipsy in there. These are all from my Urban Decay Distortion palette, and then these, I've got a Sephora, and then all the rest of these are ColourPop shadows. So that's my plan today. All of these are affordable, so if you don't have a palette that has some of these colors, you can look through them, and hopefully you can afford to pick one up so that you can get the same colors that I'm using. So let's go ahead and get started with putting on our eye base, and then we'll get going. Okay, so something else I should have mentioned, I'm blind as a bat. So I have to have my face pretty close to the mirror. I will make every effort to not blind you with the mirror, but I just wanted to warn you that it's going to be pretty close to my face for the most part. All right, so we've got our base and everything on. Let's get started. I am going to start with this yellow. I'm planning to do sort of a sunsetty look. I figure that's probably one of the easiest for most people to deal with. It's not like I'm doing a whole huge rainbow or anything, although I do have plans to go with the yellow and the orange and a bit of the pink and some blue and a little bit of purple. So still going to be colorful, just not, you know, psychedelic, and it hopefully will make sense in the end. We're going to start with this yellow. This is in the Zulu palette. I'm using this old Sephora brush I have. It is a big fluffy brush. Well, for an eye, it's a big fluffy brush. This is one of the first set of professional brushes that I own. My daughter gave this to me. And I'm going to put that directly under my brow. I have hooded eyes, and one of the things that I have learned that works for my eyes is to use all of my real estate. That is everything from my lash line up to my brow. Okay, this is where I'm going to zip through a little bit. So this is where the video starts getting a little more jumpy, because you don't need to see me doing the same thing on both sides, but if I don't do the same thing on both sides in the order that I do them, I will forget what I've done. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye, but I'm going to zip through it. So alrighty, so I am a shimmer girl. And this color is very matte, so I'm going to take a little bit from this Make Up Your Mind palette. This is one of the newer ColourPop palettes. And I'm going to put a little bit of this yellow over the yellow I just put on. I don't want to do too much, I just want a bit of a sheen. Now we're going to go on back to the Zulu palette, and I'm going to put this orange on the inner corner and this sort of reddish color on the outer corner. Using another one of those brushes. I have to remember to talk too, huh? I'm using another one of those brushes that came in the set that my daughter got me. It's the same Sephora kit. All right, going to the other eye. I'm going to use the same brush to grab some of this color, because I don't mind the mixing since I'm doing kind of a sunset look and sunset colors tend to mix. I'm going to go ahead and grab this color here for the outer half of my eye. colors are almost the same. One's just more on a pinky reddish side. It's still kind of orangey. Okay, so again, we're looking at matte shadows, and I like stuff with a little bit of shine. Plus, I have slightly hooded eyes, and one of the things that helps with hooded eyes is to make sure your inner eye part is a little lighter and brighter than the rest of the colors around it. And at the same time, I kind of want to blend these two a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I don't normally do this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Estate highlighter in Do Me, and I'm just going to go across the middle, and I'm going to use a fluffy brush to do it. Because we just want a little bit of shine and a little bit of blending going on over there. We don't need a whole lot of coloring kind of thing going on. Of course, it could also just not show up. There we go. All right, so now to the other side. All right, so that's a little bit of lightness to bring out that middle part of my lid. I think our kids are starting to get off of school, so hopefully it won't get too noisy, but it might. I'm still in the Zulu palette, and I'm going to take this purple into my crease and out to my corner. That's part of how I get my particular look. You don't have to do it this way. Do what makes you comfortable. And I'm just going to go like this to get it started. And then I go up towards the corner and I do a kind of a rounded type motion to get it up towards my brow. What's really nice about the Juvia's Place is while there is some fallout, there isn't a lot. So I'm defining my crease and I'm going up. Giving that some nice darker color. And again, these are mostly matte, so I may go over that with something else. But right now I'm just trying to get that in. This purple is one of the reasons I bought this particular palette. So next I'm going to go into my color pop. The nice things about the color pops is they're $4 to $6, $4 or $5, something like that. But if you get 4 of them for $4 a piece, they will send you one of these little babies to keep it in for free. So it's just something to keep in mind if you're trying to look for these particular colors or any of the colors that I'm using that you might be missing. I'm going to take this beautiful purple from my color pops, and I'm going to put that into over this, because like I said, the Zulu palette is mostly mattes and I like shine, so we're going to add a little bit of shine to this purple, and I'm going to just put it right over it. It's a slightly lighter color too, and it'll blend in nicely and give it a kind of a two-tone look, almost not a duochrome. It'll just have the 2 different colors kind of working together. Okay, so I'm going to do a real quick blend. I have this little travel brush a friend sent me, Jennifer sent me, and I'm going to go like this and try to blend these all together a little bit so my lines aren't so harsh. So it all looks more sunsetty rather than all separate. Don't want to overblend. but do want to get those blended. All right, so no, we're not done. The sad thing is I don't do simple eye looks. I've tried to do simple eye looks, so hopefully, you know, any part of this that you think is too much, you know what, makeup is very personal. Do what you want to do what you're comfortable with. Okay, so now I'm going to take this blue and I'm going to deepen in the crease a little bit, and I'm going to catch this outer corner. And I'm using a thin, kind of a thinner brush. This came out of some cheap kit that I bought. It was at Walmart. I think it was like $8 or $9 for something like 10 brushes or something. So I don't even remember the name, and it's not listed. But this kind of little shape works really well, because you don't want the blue to get all over that purple. You just want to deepen in the crease, or I just want to deepen in the crease. Again, I'm just trying to add a little more depth. All the stuff that I do that probably most of you don't notice when you're seeing my eyes. And then I'm going to also kind of go in a little bit here. Catch my corner. And if you see, I'm kind of going out just a little bit. Again, it's not something you have to do, but we're just deepening up that color right there. That's all I'm doing, mostly. And I want to make sure this kind of blends into this corner. From the After Charge palette, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go over that same little spot with the Stardust. I'm not doing a lot, just something to add a little more sheen in that area. Just a little bit. While you guys can't see it, it makes me happy. And you got to do what makes you happy. A lot of times you'll see a lot of stuff. If you go down into the description box and you click the show more, you'll see that I've used a lot of palettes. For a lot of them, I've only used 1 or 2 things from the palette. So I'm going to go back to this purple in the Zulu, and I'm going to put it underneath. I'm going to put it from about halfway out. So about halfway out. Now I'm going to take a smaller version of the same kind of brush. Again, it's from that cheap set. And I am going to mix. I'm going to mix our light purple here with this pink, because I kind of want to do a lighter version of that purple. Damn it. On the inner corner, coming from the inner, like that, and blend that in. Need a little bit more of that purple to show up. There we go. So now, and if you notice, I'm going about 2/3 across. This helps blend all of that, and I go from a lighter to a darker color. Here's about where I break for my eyes from a little bit. I'm going to very quickly attempt to dust off some of this fallout. And then I'm going to use a powder concealer to help finish cleaning it up. And actually, in this case, to start off with, I don't use a powder concealer so much as I'm using an eyeshadow. This eyeshadow is from my Tarte treasure box. It is a nice color to match my skin tone. So this will go down first, and then I will use another powder concealer I have to actually do some concealing, and then I'm going to put on my foundation, and then I will be back. So hello, I'm back. I've done the rest of my face, including my lipstick, which may have been a bad idea, but we're going to finish off our eyes. At this point, this probably all looks pretty damn crazy, I'm sure. If it's a little too much for you, you know, use lighter colors. Don't go in as deep as I do. Use a use a brush to blend them out a little bit, tone them down. But you know what is going to help is lining and putting on our lashes. Now, I don't do fake lashes, and I do use like eyeliners. I have gel eyeliners, and I also have the Ico, if I can find it. Well, it's over there somewhere. But one of my favorite methods for doing my eyeliner, which also allows me to use whatever color I want. I'm going to go with black today because this definitely needs like a black kind of, yeah, line. One of the things that I do is I use setting spray and eyeshadow. And I use the NYX Matte Finish setting spray. I put 2 or 3 spritzes on my palette. So I'm going to use this black color pop for the actual liner. I probably will not talk much while doing this. Basically, the idea is I use, this is my Aesthetica E14, and I use this to first dip into that setting spray. Kind of sometimes you have to be really careful with how much you pick up on your brush because it can get really, really wet. And then I dip into my color, which, like I said, in this case is going to be this black. And then I line. You will notice that I am not going completely in. And some of that has to do with some of the issues with my eyes. I was having such problems when I didn't have any makeup on. You could kind of see it. I was having such problems that I couldn't take anything all the way in. And I ended up liking that look. So that's why I'm not taking it all the way. I'm only taking about just over halfway in on the bottom. Hard to do this and not blink. As you can see, it gets you a really decent line. Although I do have a little bit kind of going out on the top. The one thing I do like about this method that makes it easy is doing the wing. Because basically, because this particular brush is so large, I'm going from the top outer corner of my top lid up towards my brow. And this thing is large enough that it covers that area pretty quickly and easily, so I don't end up with a really squiggly line. with those lines in place. This is not a very good one to fill with, but these $1 e.l.f. concealer brushes are. And you do the same thing. You dip into the setting spray, grab some color, I think the cat is getting into the trash. Damn it. And this can also help you straighten out or clean up any lines that are kind of messed up. But there's that. I'm going to do the other eye and then pop on some eyeshadow. I'm also going to deal with this cat. So, be right back. And here we are back with the finished look. And take this off so you can see this. I can't see you, but you can see me. So, here I am 54, and I am using these dark, beautiful colors to come up with this sunsetty kind of look. It's a little darker in the crease. And you know what? If it's too dark for you, then that's fine. You know, just don't be afraid of color just because you're an older lady. That's the only thing that I would have to add to all of this. Color is a beautiful thing on anybody. Wear what you want. If you see a palette that has lots of beautiful colors in it and you love those colors, get that palette. Use those colors, because nobody should be afraid of color just because of age or anything like that. Like I said, this may be too dark or too much for some people, but with my glasses and stuff, I think this really works. I probably would lighten up right in here a little bit. And there are ways for me to do that I will probably do, because very shortly. Basically, you take one of the colors that you've already used and just brush it over and bring that down. I could show you that, I guess. I can show you that if I can remember what colors I used. What colors did I use? I used yellow. I used yellow. So we will grab some of this yellow and we will tame down that purple on the inner eye just a little bit. I find that I often have to do little touch-ups like this towards the end. Mostly because, like, when I'm doing my eyelining or something will get rubbed out. My eyes tend to water. So again, something will disappear and I will need to fix it. So I'm going to just take this color here. Bring this in. This is the yellow from the Juvias. Just trying to tame down that purple towards the middle a little bit. Just a little bit. I think that does it. And you know what? I am going to do one more thing. I am going to grab another one of these little brushes and I'm going to find me a highlighter. So I'm going to use this Cover FX Moonlight highlighter. I got this. They have this mini sample on the Cover FX site for about 10 bucks. I'm just going to take a little bit of this. Hopefully it'll give me some nice inner corner shine. Well, that's not as bright as I'd hoped. Yeah, so that's not turning out as bright as I hoped. So I'm going to go to the NYX Strobe of Genius palette. And this is their first one. And I'm going to use this bright color on the end here. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see it right in there. Just a little bit of bright shine. just like that. That's all I need. And voila, look is complete. We're done. We have cats and things just going on over here. So anyway, that's it for today. And I hope that if you've been afraid of color, that this has shown you that you can use color no matter what your age is. And I do hope to do more of these kinds of tutorials. I'm hoping that I will get better at doing these kinds of tutorials. So I'm sorry if this one was a mess. The last time I did anything like this, get ready with me or anything like this on the channel, it was back when I had a terrible camera and terrible lighting and terrible hair and terrible everything. And also I didn't know anything about editing, so it was like over an hour long, I think. And so I just wanted to focus on the eyes and show you can do a beautiful, bright, colorful look. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Just do the colors you want. Use the colors you like. If any of these colors are too dark for you, then you know what? Use something lighter. If this much color is something that makes you nervous and you've been using a lot of neutrals for the most part, my advice is to pick one color. When you're doing your eyes and you're doing those neutrals, pick one color. One blue, one burgundy, one purple, one green, to add to the look and slowly add more color into your eye looks. And that should do it in such a way to make you more comfortable with it, hopefully. So anyway, we are done for the day. And I do want to tell you that you are going to see this look again after con. I'm going to use this to film my palette collection. A couple people on the Ipsy group have said that they would really love to see what I have in terms of palettes and what I think of them, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to film all of those, and those will go up after con. And I'm going to just go ahead and stay in this look, use this cup of tea, and keep going. So like I said, we are done for the day. I swear I can get this done. If you are new here, I hope you like what you've seen and you will subscribe. If you do subscribe, do hit that notification bell so that you know when I upload. But if you don't subscribe, as much as that would make me sad, I will understand. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And if you don't subscribe, I do hope you will come by again one of these days. And when you do, don't forget your cup of tea. Oh, this is a tea that even works out cold. That is really, really nice. You have a great day.